We discuss controversial subjects, but with the deepest respect for other people's beliefs and values. So thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to hand you over to our first speaker, who is Andy Howard.
These are the stories that have moved the world, touching millions of people of all faiths and of none. So I believe that when just before his death Jesus told his disciples that he was the way, the truth and the life, he wasn't making an arrogant claim to be the only way to God. Rather, he was offering a new, unique revelation, a completely fresh understanding of God.
I'm living on a female-dominated ground, my small family over there, and I'm struggling to be a leader there, even if by the end we'll see how Jesus is a symbol of common ground between all different people. So she conceived him, and she withdrew with him to a remote place. It's not only that we believe in Jesus, we do respect him. It is that in Islam, to be a believer, it's a must to believe in all prophets and not to differentiate between one another.
Those listeners would have understood that the stories were not necessarily literally true, but conveyed truth. And so it was with the Gospel writers. They used every literary device at their disposal to impress upon us how special Jesus was. Jesus' message is love. God is love. And Jesus' life was one lived in love, love of God and love of humanity.
You know, sit around the tables in small groups, and we can have a chat about anything we want, basically. And in about 40 minutes, I think, we'll reconvene again.
Very difficult move. It's coming to the end of the university term.
Right,
So any questions either to one of the speakers, one of the presenters, or out into the audience? Please, can we all keep our answers, please, no more than a minute?
Because that's something I think I could relate to, being very fallible as well.
So that could be Mark or Liz, but John's Gospel is a good start. Go away, read it, and think for yourself about what it actually says.
That, or as Muslims, we believe that that Jesus was human, he was a prophet. But prophets were very special.
About a lot of it is metaphor, symbolism, and it doesn't take away from the truth. It gives you a greater truth, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's literal truth.
The teachings of Jesus laid the foundation of the upcoming democracy. So it's a different way of looking at it.
For instance, if I were you, I would look at Christ through the eyes of Dalai Lama.
Andy seemed to be emphasizing Jesus as through whom he gained relationship with Father God.
Are there any sects of Christianity who don't believe Jesus to be a biological and begotten Son of God?
Caroline's view, which was distinct from the view which I presented. Do you call yourself a Christian, Caroline?
Yes, very much so.
Yes, so...
And then she turned to me and she said, Daddy, did Jesus think the earth was flat? How you would answer that?
He knew only what the knowledge that was available to him in the time and era he was born.
Is the highest moral character that the prophet exerts, practices, and influences the people with, not the scientific evidences that are there in books.
The fact that the religious books were not written as science textbooks is so important.
Yeah.
And there's this great divide still between six-day creation, or God being still the creator, but creating over millions of years.
To my mind now, he says, I'm the way that you have to travel. I'm not, in a way, you know, it doesn't say I'm the final destination, I'm the way.
If the Prime Minister was to come to this panel and say, forget politics, I'm just hungry for any advice that your spiritual perspective would give me into my mind to think toward right decisions, what might it be?
And in our hearts, we are selfish, we seek our own interests, and we need to be changed. And Jesus came to change our hearts. And the only answer to the world's problems is for us to be changed in our hearts through the coming of Jesus, through his death and his resurrection, bringing us into relationship with God. That's my belief.
In my mind, Jesus' message was not just about non-violence. It was about a total lifestyle. And we can so easily get fixed on one particular side of life and then go on living exactly as we want to in the rest. So I think we need to really think about the challenge to us in total in our lifestyles.
But we hope that every event encourages a personal journey, a new journey, or maybe a new stage in your ongoing journey. So please, yes, let's make it very, very personal. How does it apply to me? And what can I do with it practically?